Okay, I call this meeting of the Guam Election Commission to order. It is 5:35 p.m. Wednesday, February 19th. We are located here at the Guam Election Commission Conference Room, Oka Building in Tamuning, Guam. This meeting is also live streamed at the GEC website at gec.guam.gov/board. Present for this meeting is myself, Jerry Crisostomo, Commissioner Ricky Orsini, Commissioner Benny Panala, Commissioner Tony Gumatauta. Excuse absence is Commissioner Joe Meno and Commissioner Joe Mafnas. Also present is our Executive Director, Maria Pangilinan, and our Legal Counsel, Vince Camacho. Certification of public notice requirements. The notice of the meeting was posted on the Guam Daily Post and the Guam Public Notice website on February 12th and February 14th, respectively. We'll table the oath of office until Commissioner Seville gets here. Approval of agenda. The agenda is presented. The only change here that I would like to recommend is tabling the executive session. So it's supposed to be a continuation from the last meeting, and only because two of the commissioners are out, I would prefer that they all attend. So we'll table that into the next meeting, our next commission meeting in March. So I entertain a motion to approve the agenda, subject to that correction. Okay, moved by Commissioner Panala, second by Commissioner Orsini. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Item 5, approval of the meeting minutes of January 9th. That was our last meeting, regular meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes subject to corrections? Moved by Commissioner Gumatauta. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Orsini. All those in favor say aye. Oppose? Motion passes. Moving on to correspondence, Maria.
So our report on the FOIA request was due February, and our response is on page 15.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners on that response? Is there anything that you want to add? No? Okay. Moving on to the executive director's report, a timeline.
So our timeline starts to appear on page 17. Things to note are our voter by precinct. We put on your tables the voter by precinct for after purging. So as of January 25th is the last report we have before purging. And so on February 25th, we had, how many? 62,805. As of January 25th, okay? Then we purged 12,923 voters, and we are now after purging yesterday, we are now at 49,882 registered voters.
That's pretty significant. Of the 12,000 that were purged, how many of these are under the motor voter registration?
So for 2024 general election, of the 12,000 purged, 6,791 are from DMV.
So about half.
Yep.
Okay, any questions, comments from the commissioners on that? I know that we published the listing, right? And did the commission get any feedback, positive or negative, from those voters?
So some of them have come into, we have people coming in to register to vote now. We've had a couple who we mistakenly, who came in, who we mistakenly purged.
Purged.
And the reason for it is the, like, the way their names were spelled, with the dash or the hyphen. So we corrected those, and then since those two came in, we went back and we looked, and we made sure that, so there were a few that we put back on the roster. So that's a typical thing that happens. And then the next time we look at the we continue to look at the roster every month, then we also send it to the mayors to have them take a look at it and see if they have any corrections. That happens in mid-year when we send it to them.
Okay, any questions? Okay, moving on to the monthly voter by precinct, that's the report?
That's
right?
that's what I had reported on, and
And
then
then the online motor voter?
online motor voter and pre-registration, that one's starts on page 22. Online registration should start to pick up again. And motor voter was down a few times this past month, if you remember, that was in the newspaper. But our report is there on page 23.
Okay. Any questions?
With regard to the financial report, sir,
Yes.
so we are getting closer to getting an accurate report of our local appropriations. Tomas and Helena have been working on it, especially because we wanted to make sure we had the correct numbers, accurate numbers for our fiscal year 26 budget request. Also, the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, their $200,000 grant that we normally get, we're not so sure we're getting, they're being, they want to be conservative, and they're saying we may not get the 25, fiscal year 25 allotment. So we won't know until they're looking to address the continuing resolution March 14th. So only then will we know.
How much is that, 200,000?
200,000 every, so
Yeah.
far. And then again, it depends on how much they get from
Yeah, right.
Congress. But it's been 200,000 since 2018 or 16.
Where does that come from, that grant?
It comes directly from U.S. Election Assistance Commission,
Which comes from,
which comes directly from the Senate, from
Okay,
Congress.
from
It doesn't go
Congress.
to the executive
Congress.
branch. Yeah.
okay. Yes, Commissioner Orsini.
Mr. Chair, when's our next, if we need to adjust our budget request that we sent to the legislature that we approved last meeting, will we be meeting before or after they consider the continuing resolution?
Yeah.
You're asking about a local appropriation or, yeah? No. Okay, so no. So there was a memo asking us to let them know, let BBMR know, if the cuts are going to affect us. It won't. Okay, it's just the 200,000 that we may not get for fiscal year 25, but other than that, it doesn't affect us. The grants that we've gotten in the past, it's there until it's expended, and we have that in our checking account. Okay?
This money that we were expecting, it wouldn't affect our plans going forward?
No, not for at least, not for another election cycle.
Which would be
To
26.
26, yeah. We should be okay up until after the 26. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, moving on then to the audit.
All done, sir, and we should be hearing from the Inspector General. She'll be here, the Acting Inspector General will be here with the EAC.
Oh, they're coming, she's coming together with that. They're coming together with the commissioners?
So the Inspector General is, okay, she's the Inspector General for EAC, but she doesn't report to EAC, but she's in the EAC. So I think it's specific just to EAC. Yeah. So I've been talking with her and her assistant, and they're coming, I guess I can tell you, they're coming so that they can guide us more, give us more guidance for all the territories. So she'll be here. Sarah Dyer will be here.
Okay. Okay, moving on to the campaign contribution
Are we okay?
and reports.
Yeah, those,
Is that the same
yeah,
as?
yeah, they're closing, our staff are closing up the reviews on the campaign finance reports. And the next report is due for those with the surplus in July 3rd, and for those with the deficit, when? April 3rd.
Okay,
And then the parties, I think we will be getting one from the Democrats because they now have new leadership. So they should be filing a new organizational report soon.
so did all the, I know there was an issue with some filings that weren't filed.
We
Did
were
everybody
very
address
aggressive
those?
and assertive, and they filed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, let's move on to old business. The general election administrative complaint for the Hagana voter registration, but I believe the individual that made the complaint has not responded,
Right,
right, to this, so we should just table,
okay.
we'll table this item until she is able to respond back to us.
Okay.
Okay, campaign finance committee?
Okay, so for the Campaign Finance Committee and the Election Manual Update Committee, Commissioner Ricky and Commissioner Pat are two common denominators for both. I want to make sure that I can accommodate your schedule. We want to do like maybe a 3-hour meeting for both of them. Okay, so I'll call you next week? Yeah. Next week is good? Okay, we'll check him. And Jerry, you're in the finance. And Benny, you're in the election manual. Hey, wait, he's leaving. Oh, no, but you're leaving after Friday, next week. This Friday?
This
And when
Friday.
do you come back? So we'll do it after okay, after 20, okay. After February 27th. And we have to check with Pat.
Okay,
And Jerry, you're okay, right?
I'm fine.
Yeah, okay. And so it should be about 3 hours, and what we're going to do is just do presentations on both the campaign finance and then you guys, and then
So it's a
we'll-
working session, we don't have to do public
No.
requirement, notice? Okay,
There's
yeah,
no
it's only
quorum.
3.
Yeah, it's only 3 of them. Okay?
Okay, let's move on to item C, which I believe we tabled as part of the executive session.
Right.
So we've tabled that. Did everybody get the previous year's evaluation? Okay. So we'll have time to review that. I would like to close it out in the next meeting if we can, since we prolonged the evaluation. Moving on then to the item E, election administrative and voting survey.
Okay. So this is what's done every election cycle from Election Assistance Commission. It's available on their website, and I'll send you an electronic copy. So Tomas handles that, and we submit but I'll send you an electronic copy. Okay. Our fiscal year '26 budget request went in. It was accepted at both the governor's office and the legislature, and it appears on page 28.
Yeah. What are the changes from the previous budget? None?
Not very much, I believe. He just fine-tuned the numbers with regard to personnel.
thought we were gonna buy a new printer, I mean, a new.
Outside that budget. It's from the.
Federal?
Federal, yeah.
You sure we're going to have the money
Yeah,
for the federal?
we already have it.
Okay.
Water, please, my water. Oh, I can
Okay,
still Joe's.
any questions on the budget requests for FY '26? It's early on.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'll just steal Joe's. No, the water.
Okay, moving on then to the National Association of Secretary of State Winter Conference on
Okay,
January
so
29th and 31st.
Yeah, I attended both meetings, the National Association of Secretaries of State and the National Association of State Election Directors. My trip report is on page 45. I learned a lot, and I learned a lot to bring back. And one of the things I learned that I don't want to bring back is that in one of the states, I thought we were not so good in terms of getting our unofficial results on Wednesday morning at 2 o'clock. I've heard one state, they don't get their unofficial results until Thursday afternoon. And then Alaska was saying about their challenges about it being so big, and the weather prohibited them from going to some polling sites. So, and that's what I wanted to hear about how they handled the elections. And this is the stuff that wasn't published. And as far as the burning of the 2 drop-off boxes, what was really interesting for me was they were able to keep tabs on whose ballots were burnt or whose ballots. So what they did was they all had on their websites, both states had vote by mail. So on their websites, you can keep tabs of if they received your ballot or not, and if your ballot was validated or not. Because I think on both states, they use software signature validation They use signature
compare the
validation
signature.
software to compare it, yeah. Yes, I learned a lot at my trip. Some things I can bring back.
And Commissioner Pat Seville has joined us.
Okay.
So yeah, I know you have the written report, but then maybe next meeting just detail what you
Okay.
intend to implement.
Yeah, sir, one of the things that was pretty interesting for me, and I wanted to hear what you all had to say about it. In Colorado, they implemented setting up a vote center in the jail. And I found out that Saipan does it, CNMI does it, Puerto Rico does it, Washington, D.C. does it, and quite a few other states do it. So, I've started talking to, I'm teaching a class at the university, and we're helping with the Department of Corrections, so we're looking into, the students are looking into that as well. And then I got an email from students from University of Hawaii who are doing their social work master's degree program, and they're looking into that as well. So they contacted me as the Election Commission Director, and then I let them know that my class is doing it. So we're looking into that, and I'll give you, I'll update you in March.
But that wouldn't be up to the Guam Election Commission to decide
Yes,
whether.
yes.
Wouldn't that have to be a
law.
law?
A
that the
change in the
legislature?
law.
So it should come
Yes.
from the senators.
Yeah.
But is it based on our recommendation?
No, you're right. It's not
Yeah.
based on our recommendation, but the students are looking into it. And so they're going directly to the senator about voting in jail.
Having the prisoners vote.
Yeah.
In some
Yeah.
jurisdiction, I guess that's the,
Colorado does it,
Yeah.
DC does it.
it hasn't, I don't know if it's been brought up on Guam
I don't,
in the past. But there's how many prisoners?
900,
Yeah, but not all of them are citizens.
yeah. And then about 400 are free trial and something else, where they're not,
Okay.
they haven't been sentenced.
Okay, you want to move on then to the, we're done with the winter conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we tabled executive session. Pat, we tabled the executive session only because the two commissioners, Joe Meno and Joe Mafnas, are absent today. So we'll pick it up in March and try to get it finalized. But everybody should have received, we requested last year's evaluation, so that's in the packet. You want to move on then to new business?
So before you, in the packet, we have a draft itinerary of the visit for the U.S. Election Assistance Commissioners. We're expecting to see Commissioner Christy McCormick and Chairman Ben Hovland, and that one is on page 46. So they're scheduled to arrive on March 16th, and we're going to Saipan March 17th and March 18th, coming back March 18th, and starting the workshop March 19th and the 20th for the region, for the territories. So American Samoa will be here, Virgin Islands will be here, Puerto Rico will be here, CNMI will be here, and of course Guam. US EAC is picking up the tab for the regional meeting. Right now, I think I haven't gotten I haven't received the final word, but I think it's going to be hosted, it's going to be done at Weston. So from the EAC will be the two commissioners, the special counsel for, the special legal counsel, and then we're going to have the grants person come in, the IG person, the inspector general, and the general counsel will be doing a Zoom meeting with regard to Help America Vote Act. And then one of the Virgin Islands representative is asking for cybersecurity training. So I contacted our CISA person, cybersecurity and something, but our representative from here. And so Jenna Lynn is going to do the training there. And you're all invited to attend. It's March 19th through the 20th at the Westin.
But what's that, you mentioned Saipan, what is the
Oh.
the program in Saipan?
Okay, so they get the same thing we do, and we're going to do the courtesy visits there, and we're also going to do a trip to Tinian to see how the military is affecting the voters of America.
Okay. Sounds like another junket to me, but.
It sounds like what? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't let
so-
Mr. Musk know.
What was I gonna say? Never mind.
Okay, yeah, just continue to update us on that. I
Okay.
mean, how many people are we expecting from all the territories?
2 each, so 8 of them, and then 10 altogether from EAC. And we're also inviting, I was given permission to invite FSM and Palau as well, the election officials from those.
There, commissioners here are welcome to attend.
We put you in for all of it, yeah.
Okay. Everybody's going to be here during that time, right? Essentially March 19th. Okay. Okay, any questions on that?
Mr. Chairman, I'm also arranging for courtesy visits. If you guys want to join us, let us know. We already got confirmation for a visit with the Admiral on the 18th, I believe. So we're looking to confirm more visits with, the list is on the draft itinerary.
Okay. Okay, item B there's a couple of bills, right? 3 bills?
Four.
4 bills that were recently introduced in the Guam legislature, so you want to go through that?
Yes, okay, so the first one is the motor voter registration. So it's to remove it from the books. And we have some, BBMR also requests for fiscal notes. And in front of you, you have a table. The third column, this table right here, on the side. Okay, so the third column is the total number of registered voters. And if you look at the motor voter line row, they show 84% of those that registered through motor voter did not vote. The cost of purging, so in terms of purging, we purge of the 6,791 of those purge are from motor voter. Okay? So that's 84% of those registered to vote, 84% are those that didn't vote.
Which is what we suspected all along, right? That
Yeah.
the motor voter wasn't,
And so if you take that and you look at the numbers of how much it cost us to purge, so the total
Per
cost
voter.
to publish and to send out 2 letters is $43,600. Cost to send out the 2 letters and to publish, $43,600. And half of that could be attributed to DMV motor voter, right?
Say that again. Half of that,
Could be attributed to those that registered through motor voter. I'm thinking
probably more. than
more,
half.
yeah.
No, we're showing 84%.
Yeah, but 84% of those that registered through DMV, not
Yeah.
84% of the total
Of total. Just the
purged.
DMB one.
Yeah,
You're looking at the same type of spending.
yeah. And, it's about because we purged 12,900, right? And so, yeah, 6791 is half.
Because in '22 it was 79% that didn't, then it jumped to 84% this last election.
Maria? Oh.
you know, Mr. Chair, the counterpoint to this, and I've, for many years, thank you for getting this information to us. For many years, I know the commission's had concerns that our low turnout overall was attributed largely to the motor voter registration and just what the bill says, capturing people who don't have a genuine interest in voting. On the other hand, you know, it's 3,400 voters did vote. So that may be 3,400 people who did have a genuine interest that we captured in the 2024 election. I don't know how you factor that in on a dollar
either.
per vote basis, but that may not be such a bad bang
Number.
for the buck. If you look at our overall budget so that's what, 10% of the total votes cast in the 24 election
Election,
came
yeah.
from motor voter.
So the other thing, you know, if we're looking to make it optimal, maybe, I don't know about getting rid of 1 letter. We send out 2 letters, and then the publication, right, could be just on our website? I don't know. That's something to think about, too, to bring down the cost if we still want. But just also, we need to think about the 4 FTEs that are super dedicated to motor voter. That one hasn't been figured into all these amounts.
The law requires us to publish that in writing?
Right. So with the introduction of the ending motor voter, maybe that's something that, if you want, I can suggest, if you don't want to get rid of it, or if you, these are options that we have, that we can present to you. That,
Well, I mean, the cost is one thing, but the participation is a whole another thing, right?
Yeah, so.
So it'd be interesting to factor these 3,059 that did
That's-
vote, assuming that they would have voted anyways, taking motor voter numbers out, what would that percentage of voter
10%,
participation be? It'd be
right?
higher.
Patrick, that's 10%.
Well, no, I wanted to add the 3,400 as voted with the other methods, taking out the fail to vote DMV. Would that have increased the participation and not skew the participation because of the total number of fail to vote was high?
I think what I want to also bring up is that it's very convenient to register to vote now, even without motor voter. Registering online, that's, that one is very convenient. There are other things, other states do other things, okay? The states, and I think even DC has same-day registration. And so in the past, what we do, we have people who didn't register because they're, last minute. So across the states, what they do is when they have same-day registration, it's not like it's the same process. They require the potential voter to bring in additional documents. So in order to register on the same day, they require of course, an ID and proof of citizenship sometimes, and/or proof of residency. So, we've been discussing that with the staff, and it's doable. Same-day registration is doable.
Well, during the early vote, don't we do
We
same
do
day?
that, yes.
Do
So
we
early
require
vote.
documents?
No, because during early voting, registration is still open. So we don't require additional documents. So we just, at early voting, once registration is closed, they cannot register anymore.
But the document's only an ID, there's no proof
Just
of
the ID.
citizenship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Commissioner Orsini.
I share the same sentiments as Commissioner Seville. So after our last meeting, when we initially briefly discussed the motor voter and we were wondering about the data, right? I, spoke to some folks and tried to get a better picture of who takes advantage of the motor voter. And so, in thinking about the possibility of repealing the law or keeping it, in my eyes, the law is satisfying what it was intended to do, register voters. Now, engaging them and turning them out is a separate thing, right? And so, in talking to people, I found, maybe it's because I'm younger, but I found that a lot of younger folks have registered through DMV. And obviously, right, there's a high fail to vote, but the younger folks I've spoken to have consistently voted in the last few elections. So I see there's a population out there that it benefits. And, talking to my Democratic colleagues throughout the country after the elections last year and discussing the low voter turnout, we've been looking at, we have to meet voters where they are. And obviously, a lot of people drive on Guam. There's like about 4 cars to a household. Many people have their driver's license as soon as they hit high school. And so I think, maybe to get more information and to understand the situation better, we put together a focus group or just look at it more closely. I really believe to engage the public and get them to turn out, we need to meet them where they are. right? And so I know we have the website and that it's accessible, but I don't think we can rely on it solely. And so another benefit of the motor voter that I was thinking about is it actually helps us catch those people that are out of district. So that's another benefit, right? That we were able to catch this and move people into their appropriate or updated districts. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that perspective. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, yeah, Commissioner Penalo?
so I think, we all can agree that the intent of the bill was, to get more people connected and, involved in the process of registering to vote. But I think we need to separate the difference between a person who is genuinely interested in voting versus a person who is not interested in voting. Okay? Those people that are very interested in voting, from my experience, they do everything they can to try to get registered. They call you, they bug you, they ask where the voter registers are, they show up to meetings. They're generally interested. What we're trying to do, I guess, is to determine how this really affects the whole entire process. Well, automatic registration, if that's what you want to do, you could do it in a number of different agencies, and just automatically register people. But that doesn't solve the problem between who is generally interested in voting and those who are not interested in voting. I think it's incumbent on us to spend taxpayers' money appropriately. I don't think we should be wasting it if we're not getting the results and it's not providing the results that the bill was intended for. Even if it's just a penny, it's a penny that belongs to the taxpayer. It doesn't belong to us.
Okay, any other comments? Questions?
Are we being asked to do anything about this?
There's a
As a
bill
committee.
that's introduced and they would want our testimony, right?
But as a commission, are we being asked to do anything?
We'll provide testimony, yes.
But the testimony is either for or
Or
against
against, yeah.
this,
Or just present, say
Present
that we're
the-
ministerial in nature and this is whatever pleases the commission.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think, the Senator Teitig, we introduced this bill, I think as a result of
Yeah, so,
the discussions the commission has
Right.
made
Yes.
recently.
right. So what happened was, we had the meeting here.
Yeah.
She called me to meet with her and to discuss this bill as well as the other three.
Right.
The other three have come from our recommendations from the past.
Right.
Yes. So I wanted to add one more piece of information for Commissioner Ricky. The other thing that helped us with Motor Voter was the updates on, with the transfers, the updates on addresses. So like some of us, right, if we registered at 18, we would have given our address when we were at 18, and we would have signed like we were at 18. So now that we're 60-something, our address changed, and our signature changes too. So that we can have access to, even without Motor Voter, we can have access to that through the online voter registration system.
Through our online. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, Commissioner Sini.
Another thing I wanted to add, I think this bill is going to require us to take an honest look, right, at what goes into getting people to come out to vote, right? And it should be a collaboration of work and effort, not just at the party level, but also with us, right? And we have to kind of be honest if we're doing everything we can to notify the community that the elections are happening. And so I remember last year before the primary, I know somebody who, was just, with some, prominent people in the community, the night before the primary, Friday night. And these folks didn't know the election was the next day, right? And it was kind of surprising given who these people were. And so, I do think we could always do more and improve that, that area. And so, I just wanted to share that story. Another thing is, if we testify and there's opposing views, how do we approach testimony? Maybe it could be just giving the legislature the data and explaining the process and something to think on. Thank you.
Yeah, because I think there are two issues. One, of course, is the cost. But you mentioned all these different options, right, online, but we have to change the law to do that. And then the most important that drives it is the participation. And it's true, it's all our stakeholders, the political parties, the candidates, and the commission. But I ran into individuals, too, that didn't know when is the primary, right? So they're not reading information, or we're not giving information directly to the voters themselves. And that's why I'm afraid that the next election, although a gubernatorial, maybe even worse than the 43% that just turned out, because the apathy, is not turning the voters out, regardless, and that showed in the last gubernatorial, the most recent gubernatorial. But I think we have an opportunity now. So I don't, the impact of removing the motive voter, but I think I agree with Commissioner Sini for the testimony. I think we need to lay out to the senators the pros and cons, not really taking a side one way or the other, but they need to be informed, not necessarily of the cost. They know the cost because we've stipulated the cost, and that's easy to change. But it's how do we get the greater number of people that register on motive voter to actually turn out, and would this dissuade them from, they register, but they're not turning out. All right, and that could be maybe a deeper problem that we're trying to grapple with, because every election since 6 elections ago has been a downward trend. And the worst was this past election at 43%. And we cannot go to 30%. So we need to reverse it. We have time to reverse it. But I think we need to lay out to the senators all of the facts and the numbers and the data.
When is your testimony?
It's in
March 12th, I think.
Yeah.
Can you circulate your proposed testimony so we can review it?
The draft, yeah.
Sure.
And maybe take some of the,
What the
Comments,
discussions here, yeah. Did you want do you have very specific stuff that you want in it at this point in time? Besides what you discussed right now, anything else?
Maybe Uncle Joe and
I'll
Yeah.
reach out for them.
well, data is very important. So I think when we give them hard facts,
Okay.
numbers, then they can make that decision.
Okay,
If you
No.
could circulate it in Word, and then we
Right.
can do red line and
Got it.
exchange it, yeah.
Yeah.
okay. And we'll start to do that next week. We'll talk with legal counsel and send it out next week.
Okay, we're going to move to Bill 5338 then? That was 5238. This is,
Yeah.
the next bill is 5338.
So this came out, sir, Mr. Chairman, this came out from a couple of calls we've gotten in the past with regard to the index of registration that's outside the polling room. And so in the bill, it talks about now a voter can just get on their phone and check it off our website.
Yeah, this is the list that's outside to
Right.
check if their names are on, that they go in, right? But that information has all their,
The whole thing, whatever's on the signature roster,
Has the same.
that's the information that's there. And that's
Okay.
how it's written in law.
so what's going to be outside then? Just the name or
Nothing.
nothing? So you're not going to have
We're
This
not
takes it
gonna-
away.
Yeah, it just takes it away.
Okay. So they'll just walk in. I mean, I don't see too many
I-
people lining
no.
up to check. They already
No.
know their precinct, most voters,
Yeah.
right? Because otherwise you would have to create two lists if you still keep their name outside, only their name.
Right.
And that's another cost.
Mr. Chairman, I think the overall concern is the voter privacy.
Yeah.
And so,
Including the name.
yeah, so once you have the three sets of information in there, that's protected information.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So how would you want the testimony for this one?
I mean, I think we support that.
Support it? Okay.
Support.
It's an issue that voters have brought to our attention, and
Okay.
yeah, took us, all these years, right? Okay, Bill 5438.
Those issues were from an older, from our
That's one we
e-card.
drafted,
Yes,
right?
yes. This is from the 2024 Election Comparative Analysis Report, and it deals with the scheduling of reporting for campaign finance, right? No, that's, I'm sorry, yeah, but there's more. I'm sorry. So this one deals with the definition of district is the one.
Yeah.
The time of registration from 10 days to 21 days. The specifics on the name of the candidate. And when we're going to count the provisional ballots. Instead of making it only at the 10th day,
10th
which
day.
is the last day, it gives us more room so that we can count it maybe on the 11th or the 12th day.
It's some flexibility.
Yes. And the reason it's right now it's real tight for us because we give the absentee voters up until the 10th day at 5 o'clock to get their ballots. And then we have to count it
That-
5:30
Yeah.
on that day because of the provisional ballots.
Okay.
Okay?
I know this was one that we had drafted previously, right? So
Okay.
it's in line with our
Yeah.
goals.
So this one will support this bill as well, right?
Right. Any comments on that? Yes, Commissioner Singh?
Do these timelines regarding registration affect the online registration?
Yes. So it will close at 21.
21 days.
That's something that they have never, I mean, bills have been introduced, but it has never been supported. So they don't want to disenfranchise the voters. But our recommendation is based on getting a good, clean, accurate voter roster. When we were getting 1,000 district registration, at one time, before online registration, we would get like 1,000 to input inside of
The
7 days
timeframe.
before the election. So that, thank you for bringing that up. That might be something that you want to take a look at further.
Is this working days or just days, calendar days?
This is calendar days because it's 21.
Yeah. So it goes from 10 to 21?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Commissioner Seville?
Maria, I'm sorry I had to step out for a moment. I'm apparently allergic to Commissioner Benny. But I was, this provision here, on page 2 of the bill, granting the public unmonitored access to hard copies may be a breach of confidentiality. What information is in there other than names and addresses?
Date of birth.
Date of birth, okay.
Name, date of birth, address,
Address.
sex.
Well,
Oh, okay, so that's name, date of birth, and address.
is date of birth confidential?
Put together. When you put three together, you put the name, the address, and the date of birth together, that constitutes personal information, which needs to be protected.
What if you didn't have the date of birth? Would that still be protected?
No, so that was the question, was do you want to print two rosters, one with everything for inside, or one with just the names for outside? This one just gets away with the second one for outside.
Okay.
So the voter, yeah, the voter can.
The independents, don't matter, it doesn't matter much to the independents. Don't the parties use these rosters pretty heavily?
We give them a copy.
They have a copy,
Yeah,
so they
but
do their own
Yeah,
voter
but
check.
this, what they're referring to here is the law requires the GEC to put a hard copy outside the polling room. Just there. Nobody's, just easy access for anybody. So that's the list we want to get rid of. Just that.
And it's only because voters have brought the issue up of privacy.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, we've seen people
yeah,
take
yeah.
pictures, so we don't know if it's for voting purposes or, oh, I got you, I found this guy, here's his address, right?
Okay, understood, thank you.
And creating two lists may not make sense because we're trying to cut expenses. So,
And not very many people use
Look
it
at that,
at
yeah.
all.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
okay, the next bill, 55?
Can we go back to that
Oh,
one?
are you done with that one?
So are we, Commissioner Ricky, what about your 21 days?
You know, to me, I feel 21 days is a long time to cut off registration, and you know, considering, right, this has never passed, I think we need to revisit that section, whether we come to a middle ground. But yeah, it's very concerning cutting it off at 21. I think 3 weeks seems to be a lot. I mean, you practically almost cut off registration a month before, you know, so it's close to a month, right? It's 3 weeks before the election.
Was that in the draft bill before? Yes. 21, maybe that's, yeah, I don't know, that's the reason that they didn't,
You know, it's been there
yeah.
a few times, but nobody has ever. It was introduced once, but it was shut down right away.
I mean, because now, you know, most states make registration even the day of
Yeah.
voting or closer to the day of voting, so they don't disenfranchise, but
Commissioner Ricky, we were talking about same-day registration for Guam, and it would just be requiring how the other election jurisdictions do, instead of maybe doing it at 21 days and do same-day registration, or go back to 10 days. 10 days is what it is now.
10 days before the election.
10 days before the election is when it cuts off. I think one thing to put into the discussion is that what we do is 21 days before the election, we cut the volunteer voter registration, online and motor voter registration. District registration starts. And so district registration happens at the mayor's offices. And what happens is, right now, we don't even get 300 new registered voters during district registration, where before we would get up to 1,200.
Yeah, I mean, if you require more documents on the same day registration with the vote, and you have to bring proof of residence, they're going to have to go to the mayor's office to get that ahead of time, right? Proof of residence is to the mayor's office?
I think the election jurisdictions use like power bills and stuff too. if you want, right? They use power
But
bill.
not if you have a PO box as a mailing address for your utility.
That's a hard one.
Proof of citizenship is what, passport? A lot of people don't have passports.
Or
Or birth certificates, yeah.
we used to require proof of citizenship up until 2015, I believe.
And they're using birth certificate mostly, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's provisional.
Cutting
and-
21 days probably will make provisional ballots go up,
Yeah,
And,
probably.
yeah.
But if we,
but your percentage of provisional ballots.
it has gone down.
Yeah,
Our provisional ballots have gone down.
because the turnout's down. Okay, so we're done on Bill 54? Yeah. Okay, Bill 55?
So Bill 55 just changes the reporting schedule for campaign finance. As you all know, we don't look at the campaign finance until right now, long after the election is over. After certification, the staff start working on campaign finance. What we've been looking at is mirroring the Federal Election Commission reporting schedule. So once they submit their organizational report, the next complete calendar quarter, they'll have to report a month after that and continue to report. What that gets the candidate is advice, good advice from the Guam Election Commission, how to make it correct and accurate every time. And, you know, it seems like there's more reporting, but it isn't, because it's just the schedule that changes, and the reports are cumulative. So if you've already reported the contributions and the expenses in the previous report, you don't have to report it the next time.
Now, I know the reports are all manual, right? And then you make a copy and, I mean, you scan and you send it online
It's in Excel. We send
in
it to them,
Excel.
yeah.
But is there an opportunity that these reports be filed online, fully
We-
online, no
we-
paper?
Yeah, we've been looking at it. I've been talking to Colorado as well, and Hawaii. And so we've been looking at doing it we've been looking at software for that. Federal Election Commission has that stuff too.
Yeah.
And so I've been talking to them as well. You know, sir, one of the things that I think we asked in the past is, do we put these up on our website? It's not up on our website, the campaign finance reports. I think that question was, we were supposed to bring that question up, and we can bring it up to at the next meeting if the commission wishes it to be up on our website as well.
I mean, I do recall back in the old office that we posted these reports, the paper report were posted.
Here.
I mean, I saw reports, yeah, back at the old GCIC office.
Maybe it was just the results of the election. That's what.
No, it was the campaign. We wanted to see who the contributors are for the opponents, and that was posted on the GEC website. A while back when I joined back at GCIC, it was that office that we had.
Oh, really?
And then it was no longer there. I mean, we never published it anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody complained.
Because
Because you have to list the donors, right? And-
Yeah.
and everybody's report was on
The
there.
amount?
Yeah, you had to scroll down to find which campaign.
Oh, okay, yeah, yes, now I remember, yes. I believe it was the commission that asked me to take it down,
Put that,
yeah.
because I know the federal election post, that's public, and you can see everybody's, yeah. I don't see why it would be confidential. It's a public document, yeah.
So the practice is the media and other candidates and
They can request it.
constituents come in and request for it, and we send it out too. We send out electronic copies as well.
I think if we go fully online where they file these reports, not by paper, they just do it online, and then you can have the public view it at some point after it's approved, right? I mean, until you get there,
And so with the bill?
So with the bill, Mr. Chair, I think it's good because it assists the Guam Election Commission with timely detection of discrepancies, right?
yeah,
If we find something, we can assist the candidates, and it's not like last minute, so
Yeah.
I'm supportive of the bill.
yeah. And this, again, came from our working draft, right? Yeah,
This one has been there for
yeah,
maybe 3 cycles.
right, right.
Yeah, you know, some candidates, you know, they're pros at it, but the newer ones, right, they need a little bit of help,
Yeah,
even some of the candidates, right? So that's where GC can come in and assist.
Yeah.
But, you know, this allows for timely detection of those discrepancies.
okay. Any other comments on that? Again, on these, if you can, the draft, so that we can add any comments to it, yeah. And they're all going to be held at the same day?
I believe so, March 12th.
Yeah, that's, okay. Okay, moving on then to legal counsel's report.
Nothing to report.
Okay. No status on that. Let's move on to public comments. Okay, then we'll move to take the oath. I guess my commissioner, our independent commissioner, Pat Seville, will swear the oath to myself and Commissioner Benny Penala. Okay.
Are we ready?
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to record it, or you want me to?
No.
Okay.
If you'll raise your right hand, please. Are we going to do this separately or
Together.
together? Okay. I
I, Benny Penala,
do solemnly swear in the presence of Almighty God
do solemnly swear in the presence of Almighty God
that I will faithfully support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will faithfully support the Constitution of the United States,
the laws of the United States applicable to Guam,
the laws of the United States applicable to Guam,
and the laws of Guam,
and the laws of Guam,
and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my duties as a member of the Guam Election Commission.
and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my duties as a member of the Guam Election Commission.
Okay. Welcome.
Welcome back.
There we go. And I think it's,
Just sign the
I
original,
don't know
right?
how many
Yeah.
you need to sign,
All 2 of each, 2
Two of each?
of each.
Two of each. And Pat has to sign. Yep. Okay, now the next item is our next meeting in March. The
Mr. Chairman?
U.S. Assistant
Yes.
Commissioner will be here.
May I ask that the meeting be on March 20th at 5 o'clock at the Westin?
Okay, the next meeting, is everybody scheduled March 20th at the Westin? Is that the same room where we,
No, so not remember, one of the banquet.
okay.
And if 5 o'clock is okay?
Commissioners, 5 o'clock on March 20th is our next meeting. It'll be the Westin. This is the time that the visitors are here.
Say it again?
We'll meet them.
If you come up with us to the... Yeah. And then, I didn't schedule anything, but I'll talk to you. If you look at the itinerary, if you look at that itinerary, there are opportunities for you to meet them before then, but
Before the 19th?
before the
20th.
20th, yeah.
Yeah. So is March 20th okay for the next meeting
Oh,
at
yeah.
the Westin?
Yeah. Miss,
No, the 20th.
the 20th. The
Our
20th is our
GEC.
meeting. Yeah, at the Westin. But you're all invited to come to the workshop on the 19th and the 20th.
Yeah.
Okay, and that should be okay, right? Or do I have to announce that?
Well, it's a meeting, right?
No, they're not, yeah.
Yeah.
They're just attending. Okay,
But this is at 5 PM on March 20th. Is that okay? 5 PM? Okay. Okay, so the next commission meeting will be on March 20th, 5 o'clock PM at the Westin Resort. We'll announce the location there. Okay? Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting until March 20th? Okay, moved by Commissioner Penala, second by Commissioner Orsini. All those in favor say aye. Oppose? Meeting is adjourned.
time?
I always forget that. Time is 6:42.